Just keep working. Your kids will appreciate it. Yeah. So I'm looking at the JP Morgan Guide to Retirement, which I very much enjoy because it takes me away from doing what I should be doing, which is work on my book, but it's kind of fun. 4% rule, projected outcomes versus historical experience. All right, so we got 68 rolling 30-year periods. All right, going back to probably, what did I say, 1928? Is that what I saw right there? 1928. All right, so basically oh boy, am I going to be able to do this? 1928 to 1947? Yeah, that's a 20-year period, right? 1928 to 1957 is a 30-year period. 1929 to 1958 is another 30-year period. You see what I'm saying? So we have 68 times that has happened since 1928, 30-year rolling period. Now, these aren't statistically relevant. Too many overlapping variables to be statistically relevant. You can't say because of those 68 30-year rolling periods, we can statistically derive that this is probably going to happen. I mean, you could do that, but that would be silly because it's not statistically relevant. However, this is historical. I mean, this is historical and over many ups and downs of the markets and whatnot. So it's interesting nonetheless. But anyway, the point being is, check this out. So we got a guy starting with $1 million schmackaroonies. He's got a 40-60 portfolio. So not swinging for the fences here. He's going to draw 4% a year. All right. And what happens? 15% of the time over those 30 years, he ran out of money. 15%. That means 85% of the time he did not. I'd take those odds any day of the week. In fact, 85% is a sweet spot. I say, all right, 85% of the time you had money. 15% of the time you didn't. You want to retire or not? You say, yes, I would. But it gets even worse than that, or better, how you want to look at it. 24% of the time, not only did he not run out of money, he left 5 times what he started with. He had over 5 million schmackaroonies. So the risk of him running out of money was significantly lower than the upside that he was going to leave $5 million to his kids. So if I'm sitting there, I'm saying, all right, man, I'm going to call you Joe Schmo. I say, Joe Schmo, there is a 39% chance that you're either going to run out of money or leave $5 million to your kids if you retire, start taking 4% a year. Of those 39% of the time, 15% was run out of money. 24% was you're going to leave more than $5 million. Is it worth it for you to continue to work to avoid that 15% of the time that has happened in the past of running out of money, knowing full well that even if you quit today, if and using historical numbers, 24% of the time, a quarter of the time, you left $5 million, 5 times what you started. In fact, 66% of the time, amigos, you left over $1 million. 66% of the time, you left more than what you started with. So if I sat there and said, okay, Joe Schmo, we're going to retire today. There's no guarantees. But 85% of the time, you're not going to run out of money. 66% of the time, you're going to die with more than you started with. 24% of the time, I say you were going to. This is historically, so just remember, we're not saying this will happen. We don't know. But 66% of the time, you died with more than you started with. And 24% of the time, you left your kids $5 million, 5 times more. Would you be like, yeah, that's good. I want to keep working a couple more years to avoid that 15% probability I could lose money? No, because we know what guardrails. Or I'm just going to slap in the guardrails if it looks like things are going south. Why would you want to leave your kids why would you want to work a couple extra years to leave your kids $5 million? That don't make any sense. Unless you love your job. If you love your job, more power to you. But it's like, come on, man. I mean, what's crazy talk? And even here, with my infamous, awesome 5% rule, projected nominal outcomes at the 80th percentile right there. So 5% rule, the average ran out of money at year, was that about 28? All right. The likelihood of you living to 28 isn't that high, but even here, 5% rule, you can see, right? That's 5% adjusted each and every year with inflation, which is not based on any evidence anyway. But even with my 5% rule right there. And now what I think is JP Morgan says, with current life expectancies, a 35-year view is more appropriate. I was reading this thing just yesterday on X or LinkedIn or something like that. It says, if you're born in 1971, there's a 50% chance you'll live till you're 95 or something like that. I said, how do you, we don't know that. I mean, how do you figure that out? I mean, I know how they do, where they get that number, but it's like, I was born in 1970. We have no clue what my life expectancy is going to be for the next, no one has, because so many different things could happen. You're like, oh man, your life expectancy is 90, Josh. You got another 35 years on this earth, and then all of a sudden, freaking dinosaurs coming, asteroids coming, we're all dead. You see what I'm saying? We just don't know. I mean, the idea that, oh, my life expectancy for a future is 90 years. We don't. I get how they're doing it, but it's just like, come on, we don't know how the life expectancy for a guy who's 71 years old today, who's born in 1971 is. Why? Because we don't know when he's going to die. Obviously, what we can presume based on the past, based on other assumptions about life expectancy and all that. No, I get it, but let's look at the actual raw data for people who are, I don't know, 30 years ago, my age. How many people 30 who was 55 30 years ago survived until they're 85? That's a pretty good starting point. It's okay, because you simply were just speculating about the future. And if people say life expectancy this, life expectancy that, and they kept saying, oh my goodness, I can live till I'm 95, so I'm going to work till I'm 70. Well, I hate to say it, but you just missed many good years of your life where you could have been hanging out, partying like it's 1999 with your beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. All right. God bless. And look, nothing wrong with leaving your kids money, but you really want to leave them $5 million. All right. God bless. We'll see you.